Okay, let's take a look at our first news focus. 첫 번째 뉴스 포커스입니다. 봉준호 감독이 12살 때부터 키워온 꿈. 바로 지난 주말에 이뤘죠. 꾸준히 자신만의 스타일로 영화 세계를 구축해온 봉 감독은 그의 7번째 작품으로 세계 최고 권위의 영화제에서 최고상을 거머쥐었습니다. Let's listen to the story.
Korean film phenom Bong Joon-ho has made history at the Cannes Film Festival by becoming the first ever Korean director to take home the festival's top prize. Bong is known for transcending traditional genres, and his style has been dubbed Bongtail, a mix of bong and detail. A native of Daegu, Bong graduated from Yonsei University's Sociology Department and the Korean Academy of Film Arts. His early 16mm short films garnered a great deal of attention.
Well, of course, we talked about this briefly in the headline as well, but we're looking at the director more for this news focus. Parasite director Bong Joon-ho. He has nabbed the Palme d'Or, as you said in the title. I love that. 뭐 이렇게 확 거머쥐다. 네, 그게 더 좋겠군요. nab가 그런 뜻이 있는데 Korean film phenom, 봉. phenom이 무슨 말인가요?
Yeah, it's a good question. If our listeners see that word or they hear the word, perhaps they might think of phenomenon or phenomenal, and it's certainly in that same vein. This word phenom, which is P-H-E-N-O-M, describes a person who is outstandingly talented or admired. It describes a person or sometimes even thing, but usually people, of outstanding abilities or qualities. It does have somewhat of a nuance of being a younger person or someone having sudden success. And that's certainly not the case for director Bong here. But although on the world stage, we could say that it's maybe a bit more sudden.
Okay. 그러니까 phenomenal person 아니면 phenomenal thing을 phenom이라고 표현을 할 수 있겠습니다. 경이로운 사람이라는 뜻으로 여기서는 해석을 하면 될 것 같고요. 봉 감독님 얘기죠. He has succeeded in taking home the festival's top prize.
So we'll look at that phrase, to take home, and in this context, it's usually a prize or an award or a medal, some type of recognition, and it simply means to win. So, of course, at the 2010 Winter Olympics in Vancouver, Kim Yana took home the gold medal.
Take home a prize or a medal 이렇게 얘기를 하면은 어떤 상을 수상했다라는 뜻입니다. 그래서 집으로 가져가게 된다라는 영어식 표현이에요. He has become the first Korean director to take home the festival's top prize. Bong is known for transcending traditional genres.
Well, indeed he is, and I think that's a really key word here, to transcend. To transcend something means that the sort of limits or the boundaries are surpassed and you go over those limits, you go over those boundaries. I remember President Moon Jae-in was praising BTS via Twitter, and in an English tweet, President Moon Jae-in said, BTS's melody and lyrics transcend regional borders, language, culture, and institutions.
네, 뛰어넘다라는 뜻이죠. 초월하다. 그래서 특히 봉 감독님의 이 영화들은 딱 한 가지 장르에 딱 규정하기가 좀 힘들고 오히려 어떻게 보면 이 장르 저 장르 여러 가지를 이제 혼합했다고 해서 이번에 그 스크리닝을 통해서 많은 외신들이 봉준호 감독 자체가 하나의 장르가 됐다라는 또 굉장히 큰 그 뭐라 그럴까요? 호평을 내놨죠. 그래서 bongtail이라는 표현도 이 기사에 나와 있는데 a native of Daegu. He graduated from Yonsei and the Korean Academy of Film Arts.
So we'll look at that final phrase there, a native of. A native of simply is a phrase that is used to describe where someone comes from. So I, as a Canadian citizen, someone born in Canada, I'm a native of Canada.
네이티브, 우리는 이제 원어민 얘기할 때 네이티브 스피커라고 얘기를 하는데 이거 사실 이제 우리나라에서는 너무 일상적인 표현이지만 영어권 국가에서는 I'm a native English speaker 이런 말 잘 할 일이 없잖아요.
Yeah, not maybe as much as here, perhaps.
네, 그래서 어쨌든 이제 어느 지역 출신이다라는 얘기를 하는 건데 여기서 native of 대구가 나왔고요. 올터 선생님은 native of Canada. I am a native of Seoul. So, you know, everyone belongs to some place. And you can say you're a native of somewhere. Okay, well, let's listen to this story one more time.
Korean film phenom Bong Joon-ho has made history at the Cannes Film Festival by becoming the first ever Korean director to take home the festival's top prize. Bong is known for transcending traditional genres, and his style has been dubbed Bongtail, a mix of bong and detail. A native of Daegu, Bong graduated from Yonsei University's Sociology Department and the Korean Academy of Film Arts. His early 16mm short films garnered a great deal of attention.
자, 두 번째 뉴스 포커스 살펴보겠습니다. 노르웨이 공공예술단체 미래도서관이 올해의 작가로 선정한 소설가 한강이요. 한 세기 뒤에 출간할 미공개 소설 원고를 재단 측에 전달했습니다. 미래도서관이란 2014년부터 100년간 매년 한 명의 작가를 선정해 그들의 미공개 작품을 100년 후에 출판하는 공공예술 프로젝트인데요. Let's listen to the story.
Korean novelist extraordinaire Han Gang recently delivered a manuscript to a library in Norway. But there's a twist. The novel won't be printed until 2114. The so-called Future Library Project includes 1,000 newly planted seedlings that will provide the paper for the library's books. Han delivered her novel wrapped in white cloth and said that the ceremony was akin to her novel Marrying the Forest. She was the fifth author invited to participate in the project and the first from Asia.
네, 이번 공공예술 프로젝트 미래의 도서관이라는 이름에 걸맞게 이제 1000그루의 나무가 심어지는 이 숲이라고 해야 되나요? 노르웨이 오슬로의 숲이죠. 공공예술 프로젝트의 일환인데 그게 100년 후에는 이제 이 나무를 활용해서 책을 출판한다라는 그런 취지에서 시작을 한 거고요. 우리나라의 한강 작가가 이제 그 원고를 재단 측에 전달했습니다. 2114년이 되어야 이 책을 볼 수 있게 되는데요. 볼 수 있으면 좋겠지만, 네, 100년 후에. Anyhow, Korean novelist extraordinaire Han Gang recently delivered a manuscript.
So we'll look at that word extraordinaire. And again, like our first news focus story, if our listeners see that word or hear the word, they might think of the word extraordinary.
Yep.
And of course, this is also along the same lines. When you use this form extraordinaire, you're talking about someone who is out of the ordinary and extremely skilled in a particular field. And you use that term extraordinaire after their usually job title. So we often talk perhaps about a novelist extraordinaire, a musician extraordinaire, a chef extraordinaire, anybody you want to really say is outstanding at their position.
네, 어떤 직업 다음에 extraordinaire를 붙이면은요. 굉장히 대단한 사람이다라는 뜻이 있는데 이게 extraordinary 하고 직업명을 써도 되지만 약간 프렌치 스타일로 말을 하는 겁니다. 왜냐하면은 불어에는 무슨 직업 뒤에다 extraordinaire 이런 식으로 붙이거든요. 그거를 영어에서 차용을 해가지고 좀 재미있게 멋있게 표현을 할 때는 이렇게 말을 할 수 있죠. 월터 선생님 is a teacher extraordinaire.
Oh, well, thank you for saying so.
Yeah, so Han Gang recently delivered a manuscript to a library in Norway, but it won't be printed until 2114 or 2000, I don't even know how to read this year, 2114.
Yeah, either way, 2114 or
It
2114.
just seems so far away. The so-called Future Library Project includes 1,000 newly planted seedlings that will provide the paper for the library's books.
Yeah, this is a very interesting and special project. It kicked off in 2014, so that's why, of course, 2114 is the 100-year span that they are talking about. And they're talking also about these seedlings. Now, seedlings are simply very young plants. So they planted brand new trees, if we can call them that. And then the plan is to harvest the paper from those trees to print all of these books upon. So these are not big trees yet.
Yep.
They are just little baby trees, which we call seedlings.
네, 100년간 심어둔 나무 1000그루를 활용해서 2114년에 출판을 하는 100년짜리 공공예술 프로젝트예요. 그래서 여기서 seedling이라는 거는 이제 그 씨앗, 작은 나무를 뜻한다라고 보면 되겠고요. 100년 후에 이제 큰 나무가 돼 있겠죠. Han delivered her novel wrapped in white cloth and said the ceremony was akin to her novel Marrying the Forest.
And we'll look at that short word akin. That is one word, A-K-I-N, akin. And when that word is used, we say that something has similar qualities of something else. So
Okay.
if one thing A is akin to another thing B, then A and B are simply similar.
그렇군요. 그래서 akin to something 그러면 무엇과 유사하다, 흡사하다라는 뜻입니다. 그래서 실제로 이제 흰 천과 흰 명주실로 단단히 이 원고를 묶어서 이 숲에다가 놓게 됐는데요. 이게 마치 marrying the forest라고 표현을 했어요. 마치 이제 이 원고와 숲이 결혼을 하는 것 같은 그런 모습과 흡사하다라고 얘기를 했습니다. Alright, let's listen to this story one more time.
Korean novelist extraordinaire Han Gang recently delivered a manuscript to a library in Norway. But there's a twist. The novel won't be printed until 2114. The so-called Future Library Project includes 1,000 newly planted seedlings that will provide the paper for the library's books. Han delivered her novel wrapped in white cloth and said that the ceremony was akin to her novel Marrying the Forest. She was the 5th author invited to participate in the project and the first from Asia.
Alright, let's remind our listeners of today's quiz.
Well, our quiz today also has a color as one of the choices. Mars is also known as the blank planet. Is it number 1, the red planet, or number 2, the royal planet?
짧은 문자는 50원, 긴 문자는 100원에 샵 1045로 보내주시고요. 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. 1부에서는 추첨을 통해 총 5분께 고칼슘 쌀룬 두유 보내드리겠습니다. 노래 듣고 와서 뉴스 포커스 3 살펴볼게요. This is Maroon 5, Won't Go Home Without You. 자, 세 번째 뉴스 포커스 살펴볼게요. 현재 일본을 방문 중인 트럼프 미국 대통령은 이를 시작으로 약 3개월간 지구 전체 둘레의 1.5배에 달하는 57,600km의 집중적인 해외 순방을 벌일 예정입니다. 그런데 CNN이 정작 백악관 참모들은 이 해외 순방에 빠지기 위해 최선을 다한다고 전했는데요. 그 이유를 알아보겠습니다. Let's listen to the story.
With U.S. President Donald Trump having embarked on a state visit to Japan, it's been reported that he will fly nearly 58,000 kilometers this summer. At the start of his presidency, Trump's staff often clamored to be part of his overseas trips, but now several officials said they avoid the trips because of their tumultuous nature. One staff member went as far as to say that the trips were akin to being held captive because the president rarely sleeps when flying.
네, 그 대통령이 잠을 잘 안 자는 이유로 수행원들도 덩달아서 잠을 잘 자지 못한다. 그래서 이제 에어포스 원 같은 경우는 거기서 수행을 하게 되면은 뭐 좀 심한 표현 같지만 기사에 이렇게 나와 있더라고요. 거의 포로 생활을 하는 것과 다름이 없다. 기사를 보겠습니다. US President Donald Trump has embarked on a state visit to Japan. Embark on.
Yes, we'll look at that word and phrase first. If you embark on something, then you are starting something. And the something that you are starting is usually something that is both long and somewhat difficult. So, of course, a long trip, like a state visit to Japan and other countries.
Yeah.
But people sometimes also embark on new careers. That's another context in which we can sometimes hear that word embark.
네, 뭔가 이제 착수하다 할 때 embark on something 이렇게 표현을 할 수 있겠고요. And it's been reported that he's going to be flying about 58,000 kilometers this summer. At the start of his presidency, Trump's staff often clamored to be part of his overseas trips.
So that word clamor has several different connotations, but
Okay.
for me, one of the most common would be to make a strong demand. And the strength of that demand often comes in physical loudness, as well as sort of, I can remember when I was in school, I wasn't one of them, but several of my classmates would always clamor to answer the teacher's question. Ooh, 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 pick me,
저요, 저요.
pick me, pick me, pick me. And you can imagine they're very enthusiastic, very energetic. We could say that the fans clamored to enter the stadium early to see the BTS concert.
아, 그렇군요. 그러니까 떠들썩하게 뭔가 외치다 라는 뜻이 있습니다. 시끄럽게 소리를 내다. 근데 여기서의 clamored to be part of his overseas trips라는 거는 처음에는 다들 그 해외 순방 팀의 일환이 되고 싶어서, 그 포함
pick me,
되고
pick
싶어서,
me.
네, 그래서 정말 적극적으로 노력을 했었지만 지금은 좀 많이 달라진 모습이다 이거죠. But now several officials say they avoid the trips because of their tumultuous nature.
Well, look at that word tumultuous. That's a great word if you're playing Scrabble and you have a lot of U's in your tiles there. Tumultuous. The definition of tumultuous is having great disturbance, uproar, chaos, or noise.
네, 격동해라는 뜻이 있습니다. 근데 이거 tumultuous도 떠들썩하다라는 의미가 될 수 있지만 여기서 앞에서의 clamor, 떠들썩한 거는 뭔가 이제 저 뽑아주세요 하는 그런 좀 긍정적인 의미가 있다면은 여기서 tumultuous nature는 굉장히 힘든 그런 뜻으로 해석을 할 수 있을 것 같아요. 실제로 이제 트럼프 대통령은 평소에도 뭐 한 4시간 정도밖에 잠을 안 자는데 에어포스 1을 탈 때는 거의 하나도 잠을 자지 않는데요.
Right,
그리고
yes.
수시로 이제 소양관들을 불러서 뭐 이것저것 일을 하게 하는데 그러다 보니까 안 그래도 침대도 없는 에어포스 1에서 쪽잠 자기도 힘들다. 거의 어떤 수행원들은 요가 매트를 들고 가서 잠깐 바닥에서 눈 좀 붙였다가 또 일어났다가 뭐 이래야 한다라는 얘기를 하더라고요. One staff member went as far as to say that the trips were akin to being held captive. Wow.
Well, a familiar word there, I hope, from the previous news-focused story, so we don't need to talk about that one again. Instead, we'll talk about the phrase went as far as, or also, of course, to go as
Right.
far as. And that means to say or sometimes to do something that is a little bit risky or controversial. So sometimes, as we can imagine here, someone in the White House calling a trip with the president's akin to being held captive,
Yeah.
that's a little bit of a risky statement, a little bit of a controversial statement.
Right.
So when we describe that, we say that they went as far as to say, blah, blah, blah.
아하, went as far as to say 그러면은 심지어 이런 말까지 했다라는 뜻입니다. 뭐라고 했냐면 포로 생활을 하는 것 같다라고 하면서요. 그러니까 정말 중요한 일을 위해서 수행원들을 부를 때는 뭐 그럴 수 있습니다만 가끔은 뭐 이런 일도 있었대요. 트럼프 대통령이 갑자기 이제 참모들을 불러가지고 호텔에 있었는데 그래서 왜 그러십니까? 하고 가봤더니 폭스뉴스가 왜 안 나와? 그러면서 이제 호텔 숙소에서 폭스뉴스 안 나오는 것 때문에 이제 참모들을 타박하는 일이 있었다고 합니다. 그래서 참을성 없는 여행자 같다라는 얘기를 이 CNN 인터뷰에서 했다는 내용입니다. Let's listen to the story one more time.
With U.S. President Donald Trump having embarked on a state visit to Japan, it's been reported that he will fly nearly 58,000 kilometers this summer. At the start of his presidency, Trump's staff often clamored to be part of his overseas trips. But now, several officials said they avoid the trips because of their tumultuous nature. One staff member went as far as to say that the trips were akin to being held captive because the president rarely sleeps when flying.
We all need to sleep, you know. I hope you all had a good night's sleep, everyone tuning in this morning.
I hope so too. We often have stories reporting on how sleep deprived Koreans in general are, and students as well, and the negative effects of that, both physically and mentally. So, indeed, get that sleep.
Yes. Well, today's quiz was about Mars. What's the answer?
Well, if you're traveling to Mars, you're going to have to sleep a long time to get there. Mars is also known as a blank planet. The answer there, of course, number 1, the red planet.
Indeed. And I love this answer
me
from
too.
one of our listeners. 이경진 님이요. 초등학생 아들이요. 화성은 anger planet라고 합니다. 화를 나는 것 같아서
Sure.
화성
Well,
이렇게.
you know, and it's not far off because in English we do have an expression when you're angry, we sometimes say, oh, I'm seeing red.
Oh,
Because I'm
really?
angry, or he's seeing red. Or there's another expression, red mist. When somebody's angry, they're seeing a red mist. So that color red is associated with anger. So,
그렇군요.
although it's not a quote-unquote standard expression, the angry planet or anger planet,
네.
it sort of works.
네, 알겠습니다. 이경진님을 포함해서요. 임태영님 끝번호 1217 쓰시는 분, 또 2235 끝번호 쓰시는 분과 안선경님 네, 모두 5분께 고칼슘 쌀룬 두유 보내드리도록 하겠습니다. 이경진님의 아이디가 되게 길어요. 네, 이경진 2번 자존감입니다. 하고 이렇게 웃음 표시. 네, 이분도 당첨되셨습니다. 5분 저기 모닝 스페셜 홈페이지에 들어가셔서 주소 꼭 남겨주세요. 자, 선생님 오늘의 표현은요?
Well, today I'd like to go back to News Focus 2 again. The first word that we looked at in News Focus 2, extraordinaire. Now, someone is described as extraordinaire if they are particularly extremely skilled in some field. We can use it literally for real professions like novelists,
Yeah.
chefs, and teachers. But you can use it a bit playfully as well. So maybe
Okay.
our listeners on their spouse's birthday or on their child's birthday, they can say, you know what, happy birthday. You are a wife extraordinaire.
직업이나 직책이나 이런 아무거나 뒤에다가 쓸 수 있는 겁니다. 반드시 뒤에 써야 되죠. 앞에다가
Yes, it's
쓰면 안
after the
되고요.
title, yes.
이게 프렌치 형식을 그대로 유지하는 것이기 때문에 봉준호 감독님이 He is a director extraordinaire,
yes.
and the writer Charlotte
Hang Kang,
Bronte and
sure.
Han Kang
and many others, sure.
are or were writers extraordinaire.
If you did want to change it, you could say extraordinary writers or
Yes.
extraordinary directors or extraordinary wife. But it sort of loses its nuance. It's better to keep
맞아요.
it that sort of French style.
그러니까 이건 뉘앙스 차이예요. 의미상은 그냥 extraordinary director라고 하는 거랑 큰 차이가 없지만 뭔가 좀 멋있게 보입니다. 그래서 봉준호 is a director extraordinaire 이런 식으로 봉 감독님 얘기를 할 수 있겠죠. Well, thank you so much for that. As I said, you are our very own special teacher extraordinaire.
I think I'm blushing an extraordinary amount, but thank you nevertheless.
All right. Have a great day.
See you tomorrow.
Well, coming up in hour 2, we have 영작 극장, and we also have our book segment with our book expert extraordinaire, Paul Matthews. We'll get to that after a song. This is The Carpenters singing Jambalaya.